Hi everyone, my name is Rishotaru and I am a student of Functional School of Technology. I'm pursuing a BTech in Computer Science and Engineering, specialization with Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Currently, I'm a student, second semester student, and till now I've learned the tech stack such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, basics of Java programming, problem solving, DSA concept, basics of DSA concepts, and React.js library. So currently we are learning the concepts of React.js library in which we are learning local storage, routing, and few other concepts such as recoil. So today we are implementing a project on checking our concepts deep dive into local storage, sessional storage, and routing, as well as React Router DOM and a few link tags under the React Router DOM. So the micro project that we want to test ourselves on the topic local storage and routing, we are creating a user authentication app. So the app will contain a sign up and sign in form for a user. The functionality should cover the users can either sign up or sign in before he can visit the home page. If a user is already logged in, they cannot sign up again. And after sign up or sign in, redirect the user to the main screen. So in this project or micro project, what we simply have to do, we have to create a dynamic web page where there will be two functionality for the user that when they will visit our web page, there will be two options for the user, a home page and a sign up page. A home page will only be available to user to visit when they will be either a user of our dynamic page or they have signed in there with their credentials. So a sign up form will be visible to you and whenever the page renders, the default page will be a sign up form and a navigation bar with two options. So we simply want them to navigate to the home button. But when they will click on the home button, they don't allow the web browser don't allow them to navigate to the home page because they need at least authentication for our app to sign up or sign in. So this was the first requirement for a question. Secondly, user action. Sign up allows a new user to create an account. If account is already created, then show already a user login, please. So in the sign up process, we also have to check that the if one user, unique user have been placed inside the local storage. So again, the same duplicate user cannot sign up with the same info credentials. So that should be the functionality of our sign up page. Again, sign up with the same user. Then we have to check that the sign up doesn't work for that user again. Then sign in lets user sign in. So after that, when the user sign up the form, they simply have can navigate to the home page, or if they are coming to a dynamic web page, they can either sign in with their credentials. Talking about the sign in with wrong credentials, so we also have to implement a functionality that we have to check ourselves with the user credentials whether they are having matching the credentials in our local storage or not. After that, we have to navigate sign up or sign in react to the main user. Then whenever the users successfully sign up or sign in, we have to redirect them to the main screen, that is home page. So this will be the all the functionality which we have to implement in our sign up form. So let's begin with the start with navigating to the home page, VS Code. So let me start. So your VS Code will be looking something like this. So you have to create a React app. What you simply have to do, you have to simply go to the terminal and write the command as npx create React app and give the name of your app. So currently the project we are working on is a user authentication. So we'll pass the value at that. And by this command, React tab will be created. So I have already created. I am not going to create another one because it will be the duplicate one. Then what it will take few minutes and the React tab will be created for you. After that, you have to simply write the command as cd user authentication. With this command, what simply you find that the VS Code have navigated you to the React project which you are working on. It will change the directory of the folder structure to the project which you have created. After that, you have to simply write the command npm start, and with this command, the local host will start and you can start working on your project. So currently my user authentication has been created, so it will will be uh, shown to me. So this is the kind of interface which we are working on. And talking about the functionalities uh, which the user has asked for, which the code or which for which the we have to create on the local host, it has been navigated to this home page. And whenever I click on this home button, it simply gives a alert message that please sign up before navigating to the home page. So it simply wants us to clarify us that you cannot enter our home page without having a sign up or sign in. So let's say I give the name as username as ABC, password as ABC123. Let's say ABC123. Then phone number as 199999 and email ID as abc@gmail.com. So we have passed the values, and it says whenever you click on the sign up button, it simply says sign up successful, welcome ABC with your username. And you can clearly see that local storage which we are talking about, which we are going to use in this while creating this, that the application in the storage, in the local storage, you can simply see all the values which we have entered as the username ABC and email abc@gmail.com and phone number as 99999 and password as abc123 has been stored in our local storage. So whenever a new user comes and sign up to our page, they will simply jump off and simply return to the have been navigated to the home page. This is home. Now talking about the another functionality which I want to implement here. If the same user, let's say inspect and go to the applications, local storage, and if the same user again tries to sign up in our web page with the same credentials, a phone number may be 99999 and email ID again as abc@gmail.com. So when a user again tries to enter our dynamic web page and sign up with the same credentials, the alert message says to the user that user already exists, please sign in to continue. So in that case, a sign in button below the sign up form has been created, and that simply navigates the user to the sign in form. So now let's check whether the sign in form works or not for the user which has already created. So the email of the user is abc@gmail.com and the password is abc123. So it clearly says login successful, welcome back ABC, and it simply navigates us to the home page. So the kind of uh, the kind of uh, user authentication page which we have to create is something like this. Talking about again the sign in page, if a user enters the wrong credentials, let's say ABC and password, he enters ABC1234, it simply says to the user, email or password is not valid, kindly sign up. So in this format, the user credentials will be matched with the local storage, and the user will not be allowed to log in into our page because the wrong credentials. So that was the we all are talking about. So let's move to the VS Code in order to create this. So I have told you how to create the React app, and you have changed your directory to the current project which you're working on. So after creating the project, what you simply will have to do, a folder structure like this have been created. I have given the name of my project as user authentication. In this, all the folders have been created. Node modules, public src, gitignore, package JSON, and package readme.md. So in this project, what we simply have to been requirement for us that we are going to use React router DOM. So uh, for that, you simply have to install, change your directory to the user authentication. Whenever you close the terminal completely, you have to change your directory, and you have to simply use the command npm I react router DOM, react router DOM. So by this command, React router DOM will be installed to you. how will you check that whether it's installed or not? So under the packet.json, you will find the dependencies have been installed with the latest version. Adding in the dependency have been made, and latest 6.22.3 have been installed. This kind of library have been installed in your project. Now talking about how you can implement that, you simply have to go to the index.js and you have to import this line after installing the React Router DOM, because we are using the React Router DOM in order to navigate to the page without refreshing the whole page and navigating through the we will use the link component of React Router DOM. So links create the routes for the different sections to update the DOM and to update the particular component without changing the whole interface. So this line will import browser router as a browser router as router from React Router DOM, which we have installed. What browser router does, browser router implement routing in your application, in a single page application, and it is the container for all the components in your browser or single page application. After that, when you will import browser as a router, you have to wrap your app.js or the app component which you have created. You have to wrap it inside the routing to implement routing in your web page. So the app component should be wrapped in the router in order to use the routing. So now we can use the routing and navigate our different sections of the web page whenever required. Talking about the src folder, this folder structure will be by default will be given to you. Under the src, what you simply have to do, you have to create a folder named components. I have already created. So this is the code standard and the uh, developer standards which everyone use. So whatever components you create, whatever components you want to render on the web page, you have to create each one of them into different components and have to keep all of those components inside the component folder. So you have created the component folder. Under those component folder, you will create multiple JSX, JavaScript extensible markup language files in a .jsx extension. So in this component, I simply want a home page, a navigation page, then the CSS for that part. I will explain why I have used the .module.css, then sign in.jsx, sign up.jsx, and sign up module.csx. CSS. Talking about the different components which we have created, we want to render it on our web browser. We simply have created different components, and after that we will all import it in our app.js so they can render it on our, so we can render them on our main web page. So let's start with the home.jsx. So I have created a normal and a basic home page. So whenever users sign up or sign in completely, they will be navigated to this home page. So this I have, let's say you create a new file in your React project. What you simply have to do, this will be empty by default. So let's make it empty. And when you will create your .jsx or any of your component, the file will be empty. What you simply have to use the code snippet RFC React functional component and press enter. A basic React functional component will be created to you where these few lines of code will be visible to you. Import React object from the React library. So we are creating it on the React library. So you have to import the React object, then export default function. So export default clearly means that you are exporting the component which you have created. By default, the component which you want to export, you simply add these two words and you can import them wherever a requirement you want to use them. Then this function home and return div, under this div, your complete React functional component will be created. Then uh, uh, with the help of RFC code snippet, React function component will be created. Talking about the home.jsx which we have created, it will consist of a nav bar, and nav bar we will discuss, and we have called the nav bar and we have imported that as well. I will discuss what I have written in the nav bar component. So we have simply rendered that nav bar in the home section as well. We have rendered that nav bar in all of our section, sign in, sign up, and home section. Also have given the head tag that users can have a success message or user can have a message that they have reached to the home page by h1 tag, this is home, and the main div has been closed. There is also uh, good practice to use the fragments in order to, if you are returning multiple HTML elements in a component, you simply have to wrap all of them in a fragments because React doesn't allow you to return multiple components. So in order to return multiple components, you have to simply wrap all of them in a single fragment. Now the next, I have created navbar.jsx. So a navbar.jsx, we are simply creating a navbar, which I have shown to you. This one, two buttons, two sections will be visible to you. A home section and a sign up section will be visible. And import React use state from React. So here a React object and use state hook is being imported from the React library. Then import link from React router DOM. So what use state here is, a use state is a state management hook, which help us to manage the state inside the functional component. So whenever you want to update the value, and whenever you want to uh, check the value is being updated, or you want to play inside the functional component to update the value whenever required, we have to use the use state hook in the React. Talking about the link component from the React router DOM, we have imported. So link component, what clearly does it, simply navigate you to the different sections of the web page. You pass the value as two attribute, and the uh, functionality or the location of your main component, wherever you want to navigate. You can simply pass inside the two attribute, and link will navigate it whenever the URL matched. Link will navigate that section to that portion of the web page and update that content when the user interacts. Talking about the import style from the folder location, I will also talk about this. So React what simply says, in order to add styling to your web page, React simply allows you to, you can add styling to your web page directly, uh, but there will be conflict when you are creating a bigger application. There will be conflicts with your CSS. So in order to make every component, or every component CSS itself different, so they don't conflict with each other, we create each one of them with a module.css styling, and we import them as style or styles, whatever you like, and we import them from the folder locations. The folder location dot slash simplifies the VS code that it's in the current folder, and give the name of, after that you can pass the name of the file. Talking about the next, we have the line as export default function navbar. So in this export default navbar, its functional component has been created, and it has been exported default, so we can use them wherever in the which component we want, we can import them. Then we have created a state variable, const is logged in and set is logged in. So with this state variable, user will be checked whether they have been logged in or not, and this will be updated when the functional component will be checked upon. After that, function handle click event has been there. Uh, uh, so I will discuss it after explaining you why we have used the handle click and const is logged in use state. So in the return section, I have created a nav bar. So I have used the nav element, and under the nav element, I have used the unordered list. And unordered list, I have given the name as style.list. So style.list is simply uh, allowing us to add the styling to that part using the module.css, which we have created for the navbar.module.css. Talking about the next, we have is li tag. So under all the list item, li tag simply allow us to add all the list which you want to add. So in the navbar, we want home and sign up option. So in under the li tag, the link component of the React router DOM we have imported, and the to attribute is navigating that portion, navigating us to the default option, default page to the user home page. So also I have implemented a on-click functionality, that whenever someone clicks on the on-click, I have handled that on-click functionality with the function handle click, which I have created, which I will discuss. Then the next list item I have is sign up option, and this will navigate the user to the slash sign up, and this all location I have explained, I have used in the app.js. So when I will navigate, when I will explain the app.js portion, this will be clear to you, but why I've used the two attribute. Now talking about the UL tag has been closed, nav tag has been closed, then on click functionality handle click, which I have implemented. So on click functionality, what it clearly does, when a user clicks on this home button, a handle click function have been implemented. What handle click says, have function handle click event, when this event will be occurred, if is logged in, if the state variable which we have declared is false, then give alert message, alert, please sign up before navigating to the home page. So whenever the user reaches to the home page and he has not signed up or signed in, then this state variable is by default false. So we have the syntax for the use state is you have to pass a default value, and I have passed the default value as false, and is logged in state variable is currently at the false state. So and also event dot prevent default, because the sign up form which we are working on, whenever the someone will clicks on that form, it will be again rendered to its blank state. So we don't want that the user should see what he has entered. So this functionality is preventing it to return to its default state. So that's all for the navbar section. Now coming on to the navbar.module.css. So for the CSS, what I simply want to clear here that universal margin padding 0% I have implemented. Then the list item is display flex. So all the items which I have used in the navbar will be at a equal spacing, and the gap 2 rem between them, and list style type 9. So I have told you that I have used the UL tag unordered list. So unordered list must have its own style type, maybe disk or numbering. So we don't clearly it's disk shaped, so we don't want any disk or anything. We simply want none as a style type. So we have passed the styling in this style none. Then border 10 pixels solid black. I have given a border, so it's looking it's could be visible to you that it's a navbar. Background color black, color white smoke. So the text of all the navbar should be white smoke. Font size 30 pixel and margin bottom 1 rem. So from the margin there will be a 1 rem, bottom margin 1 rem. Then list lia, uh, talking about the list item lia anchor tag, anchor. So I have given the uh, anchor of a list item as the color white smoke and text decoration none. So the underline coming in between the list item should be none, and a hover effect I have given. So once the user hover on the home or sign up again, the color should be changed and it will be changed to the changed to red. The next I have is sign in, sign in. Let's talk about the signup.jsx. So signup.jsx, we have created a form where import form is visible to you, sign up form, and it has a heading, it has in a label as username, password, phone number, email ID, and few input boxes. You can clearly see a sign up button. So let's discuss what we have used in order to get that functionality of sign up page. So import react and use state, similarly link tag styles and navbar. So here we are also using that navbar which we have created in the home section and in the sign up page. So we have imported all of them. Styles are doing the same thing, adding styling. Link is also doing the same thing, routing the section using the React router DOM to the folder location from the React.js location, which we have defined. Talking about these under the export default function sign up, functional component sign up have been created. Then five state variables have been declared for the username, email, password, phone number. It's signed up. So five state variable have been declared in order to set the value whatever user has written using the, and the default value for all those state variable I have declared as empty strings. And username, I have used the state variable. Whenever person enters the username, the state variable will update it in the name of that user, and by using the local storage we will store the value of the user, username, password, email, and phone number. The next we have is const is signed up and set is signed up. So by default I have set the is signed up, that the person has not signed up to our page. I have given the default state value as false, and it set is signed up if the user has completely signed up to our web page. Then talking about these functions, we will later on discuss. Now let's talk about the layout of this page. So at first, navbar have been created, main div have been created, and styles.form. So the complete div we have is the class name with the styles.form, and so we can add styling to the main form. Then a form tag have been created. Then a h3 tag has been given, so a heading will be visible to the user at sign up form. Then few labels have been created for the username, password, phone number, and email ID. So you can see here username, password, phone number, and email ID. Four labels have been created. After that, for each of them, a input tag box have been created, and that input box has four attributes. So for all the labels, we need an input box. So for all of them have an input box similarly. and all those four input boxes will have type as text. Similarly, for the password, type as password, and for the phone number, type as text, and for the email ID, type is email. Again, we have stored those values for those label in under the value. So value attribute simply does whatever the users logged in or enters, it will be stored inside the value attribute as username, and value for the label password as password, and value for the phone number as phone number, a value for email as being email. So the attribute value storing the name of those that particular label. Talking about the on change functionality, which you can find for all the labels, we have on change functionality for the event set email e dot target dot value. What e dot target dot value? It's simply targets is a attribute you can call off whenever you want to access those, and dot value will access its functionality. So for all the labels, we have used the on change functionality. Whenever the field change, and whenever the field change, an event will be executed and set password e dot target dot value will be called off, and that value will be stored in the on change functionality. The on change we have uh, defined it above the main layout of this box. We will discuss after that. One more thing I have to clarify here: for all the class names for the input boxes, I have given the class name as style.input box for all of them, so we can add styling to all of them uh, at once, and they all will be visible to the user. Let me check. So also for the phone number, the max length character and min length character I have passed as 10. So at least the phone number cannot be less than 10 and cannot be greater than 10. So I have passed the value as 10. Talking about the on change I have discussed, and all those things I have discussed. I have talked about all those labels and the input box. Now let's talk about the button which we have created. A button have been created given the class name is styles.login. On click handle click functionality has been also implemented here. So I've given the button as class name styles.login and on click as handle click, and given the name of the button as sign up, and sign up button has been closed. Now on click functionality will be implemented when a user click on click. A handle click functionality I have executed above. Talking about the next div we have, you can clearly find here already user sign in. A div have been created to write that and navigate the user. So under that class name styles dot already user, I have implemented the styling, and h6 tag I have given. So in order to provide user already user, I have passed as the empty string, and then li tag have been created, and under the li tag it is navigating the user to the slash sign in. So in this way, link tag again has been used. If a user is already signed up to our page, there will be an option for the user to sign in to our page uh, without sign up again. So a link tag will navigate by changing the URL and updating the single page application using the React Router DOM. Link component will update that. So in this way, the layout is being discussed. Now talking about all the functionality which we have used, the function on click handle click event. So whenever the event will be called off, pre-event dot prevent default we have executed. So what this simply means, the event dot prevent default simply makes the stops the form from being default value. So whenever the user clicks on the sign up button, the default behavior of the web browser and sign up form, it all fields will be empty. We don't want that, so we are preventing that uh, event to have be executed. Then const existing user json.parse local storage dot get item. So talking about this line of code, in this the state we have created a variable existing users, and this existing user is taking the value as local storage dot get items, and it will be checked for the users when already uh, any user with that values are available will be directly will be fetched. If no user is found, then the array uh, we have executed will be completed to the empty array and will be passed to the empty array. Const existing user, then if that user is not available, uh, we have find we will find the user in the local storage. So this is the syntax for local storage. Dot get item is fetching the data of the user from the local storage. If not, then we will pass the value as array empty array. Then const existing user is equal to existing user dot find. So whenever the new user sign ups, we will also find the username, email, and phone number of that person if it's already exist. And if not, then if the user already exists, we will check with the if condition. If existing user we have created the variable, then alert message will be displayed to the user, you do already exist, please sign in to continue. Then a else condition will also have been executed. If that user is not already present, then we will update the value with the uh, object and const new user object have been created, and username will be updated to the value username, email, phone number, password will be updated. Talking about the next we have is const updated user, which we have created. So it simply does, we have created again updated users array, and existing users and new user will be by using the const updated users is equal to existing users, new will be uh, replaced by the new user, and that user data will be stored in the local storage. Local storage dot set item users json dot stringify. So the users we have will be updated to the local storage and will be set with that new user, whatever we have which the data user entered will be stored in the local storage, and set is signed up. Now the state variable which we have declared here will be updated to true, and then alert message will be displayed to the user, sign up successful, welcome. And in this way the a successful message will be displayed to the user, sign up successful, and the username which the user have declared will be shown here. And dot location dot href, what this line clearly does, it will navigate the main page of the user to wherever we want. So we simply want the user should navigate to the page slash home, which we have used in the app.js. Now the signin.jsx page which we have created, import react and use state. So react and use state we have already discussed. Now three state variables is already been created: email, password, set password, and logged in state. So the default value for the email and password is the empty string, and the logged in state we have by default passed as false. Now talking about the sign in form, you can see here the we have two labels as email ID and password, and then two input boxes for the email and value email have been stored. Same as sign up form, all those functionality have been implemented. And similarly, if a user already have is not having any account and he wants to sign in, then a sign up option will also be available to the user. And then talking about the main functionality for the state variable and the local storage here is function handle event clear. So whenever the user clicks on the sign in, the event will be called, and event on prevent default is similarly stopping the web browser and sign up form to change everything, and it will stop the render. Const existing user, which we have created, JSON get item. So we have created the variable existing user. So json.pass local storage.get item, what it simply does, it will fetch through the local storage, and if that user is already present, uh, then we will fetch it value. If it's not present, then we will simply return the empty array. Const existing user existing dot find. If that user is not present, then we will find it in our local storage, and we will match with each of the available label as user email and user password. If this match, if existing user, if the user is already exist in a local storage, we will simply return alert message, login successful, welcome back, and the name of the user will be displayed. And then set logged in state. So set logged in state here will be updated to true, and window.location.href, what this line simply does, the current location, window location for the user will be changed to the home section where we want the user should navigate to. If the user is not available in our local storage, then const existing email is equal to existing users dot find. So in this way we will match the value of the field with from the user from the local storage, and if not, then we will simply return an alert message that the credentials you have entered invalid password, please try again, else email or password is not valid, kindly sign up. So if we don't get the any of the value as same from the local storage, we will simply pass the value as invalid password or email or password is not valid. Then we have also created a array here, const user details, where email and password will be stored in this way. And we have also checked the value for the user as a we have also console the value for the user in the console section to check what's the value the user is trying to input. So at last, all the components which we have created in the component section, we have called all of them using home section as home, import home, sign up, sign in, and this all have been called in the app.js. Now they are ready to render on the web browser. Now a React router DOM has been called here because we are using the routes and the route. So the React router DOM has been also been imported here. Now talking about the under the uh, return statement of the app component, under the fragments we have a div, and that div is wrapping inside the roots. So roots are the advanced version of switch in the React router DOM, which simply finds the best matches for the available location and navigates the URL to that specific path. Then the root we have I was talking about that we are passing the link tag with her to attribute to always somewhere to the location to the functional component. So this have been defined here that root is navigating the user, that the path for the sign up form will be the default. The path for the home component which we have called here will be the path slash home, and the path for the sign up form will be the covered under the roots will be slash sign up. So whenever the user clicks on sign up, sign in or home section, this route will decide whether it's matching with the URL or not. If it's matching, then that particular component will be rendered on the web browser. And we have wrapped all of those component in the roots, and the div have been closed, fragment have been closed. And once we will start the React project which we have created. So in this way, the home section is being rendered, and while we are clicking on it, hover effect have been used, and it simply says sign up user. I have already discussed, and a sign up form has been created, sign in form has been created, and all the basic functionality in the starting which I was talking about is also working for now. So for example, a user sign up with the username as ABCD and the password as ABCD123, ABCD123, phone number as, so minimum and maximum 10 length of the phone number should exist, and email ID as abcd@gmail.com. So let me console this. Let me open the inspect tool as well, so you can see the local storage is having the working or not. So this is the current scenario of the local storage. So once the user click on the sign up form, clicks on the home button, it says sign up before navigating to the home page. And once the user enter its values and clicks on the sign up form, alert message have been displayed, sign up successful, welcome ABCD, and he has been navigated to the home page, you can clearly see. And all the data of that user have been stored in the local storage with the variable as username, email, phone number, and password. And after that, when again same user wants to sign up with the same values which we have entered, so this is all the value which we have used, and they don't, the interface should not allow the user to sign up. So once the user sign up with the same credentials, the alert message displayed to the users, user already exists, please sign in to continue. So in this way, the user has only option to sign in because our account already exists for the user. Now let's check whether they allow the user to sign in or not. So we simply pass the values email ID as abcd@gmail.com and password as abcd123. So once the user login, it simply says login successful, welcome back ABCD, and the home page have been navigated. And when the uh, users trying to log in with invalid credentials, let's say ABCD and password as ABCD12345, Then email or password is not valid, kindly sign up. So it simply fetch the user data from the local storage, and it simply pass the value as password is not valid, kindly sign up. And for all the values, you can simply see uh, the user is being navigated to the main page. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. So let's check what the values we have entered in the memory storage. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. So there will be possibility that we have entered in the uppercase. So let's refresh our page first. abc@gmail.com. So we are not using the @gmail command, so it won't allow us to log in. D is missing, so let's login successful. Welcome back, ABCD. So that's all was the user authentication project we are working on. We have used the local storage and routing and the link component of React Router Tom. So that's all for this video. Thank you.